work on Bali, like you know, in a lot of projects and things. Soul Men, I'm an Angel, all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
And gotten the kids. The kids have been involved in lots of projects, Mount Agong, and I've been around about and things. So I just try to get as much into the heart of Bali, into the children, you know, and then growing change makers. That's what
Completely
I'm
agree.
about.
You know, education must start young. So luckily today we have a strong speakers who will talk about what they're doing to try to change our mindset on many things in Bali. What
That's what
about
it's about.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And I
And
have
what
students. I have students up until 18 years old as well. So the most common age is kind of from about 10 to 18. So they're, you know, and a lot of the parents on Bali are very entrepreneurial. So they've got very open minds and they know a lot about the mindset work already. So it's like taking people to the next level, or taking the kids in there to the next level, because they can reach things that we can't as adults.
right. And yeah, you're promoting holistic education in Bali. That's amazing. So by the way, for those who are joining the webinars, if you know of any amazing speakers, please reach out to us because we're always here trying to showcase these amazing people. Especially this week, this month has been a tough month for a lot of people. I think we all expected September to open up the borders internationally. That did not happen. I remember saying to my employees last month, guys, we have to hold on a little bit more. September will open, and this is the situation we're in. But this webinar is not a pity party. We're trying to showcase the positive parts of what's happening now. What about, oh, we have Rob. Where's Rob? Hi, Rob.
Hey, Krishna, how you
Good.
doing? Awesome job as always.
Rob is from the practice, and you know, a big thank you to Rob because he's been very active to invite me to these amazing meetings. I think 2 weeks ago I was invited to an NGO meeting where we got to sit down with all these amazing organizations, Crisis Kitchen, SOS, which is Soldiers of Solstice, where they're trying to reuse leftover food from the hotels to give to other people. So really amazing things. So you know, big shout out to Rob for the time and energy. And Rob,
Thanks, Krishna.
please put in the practice under your name so we all know, you know, where
Oh,
you're
okay.
from. Yes, yes.
It's
Sweetie, if you put Serenity, no one's gonna know where it is. You gotta put Serenity Eco Guest House. Nadir, I'm talking to you. What about Mane Sudewi? Where are you coming from?
Hello, so we are coming from Kasamia, Bali, family villa in Jimbaran.
Okay.
So we are looking for any good information in this webinar while our booking still low. So it's nice to get in touch with a new friend here. And we're also developing a project, a farm project. So this project also related to Hita Karana, where human to plantation and human to human. So really interesting to looking forward to more information in this webinar.
Well, Mane Sudewi, today you are in luck. We have amazing speakers. Yes.
Yep. And beside me is Beverly. She can introduce herself.
Well, guys, really excited to learn from you guys because we are actually talking to Cocoa Farm to get advice to turn a 400 square meter land into a permaculture farm because we, like you said, we believe in educating the kids young and helping to promote a more healthy kind of tourism affiliated with our villa. So yeah, a lot to learn from you guys.
Amazing, amazing. And I love the energy. Instead of thinking, what can I do with COVID? There's no customers. You're thinking, what can I do? All right, let's take it action. Right. So we'll just get it started. Thank you very much for everybody joining the webinar. The webinar is called Hita Karana in Action. So we're not just going to focus about philosophy. We're talking about action points. What can we do? And today we have 3 amazing groups of speakers who are gonna inspire us and take action. So something that we can take back after this webinar that is the key, right? You're joining this webinar not because, oh, it's so great to have these amazing people, but what can I then do with the information I received? So today we have Tim and Martana from the Astankaro Way group. Hi, Tim and Martana. Thank you so much. Feel free to unmute. Don't worry, because you're one of the speakers. So just a bit of background. The first time I met Tim and Martana was actually a very special day. It was the day that a Bupati, a mayor, came to visit, and it was very cool because in the parking lot that was the license plate number 2, which means the second most important car in Bali. And they came to visit about rice farming, but not just any kind of rice farming, right? So what is Astunkara Way in brief? Tim and Martana, if you could just take turns for you, what it means to you. Martana first, why not? Indonesia.
So for myself, Astunkara Way is okay.
Kalau unmute sama dengarannya. Coba.
Okay, so Astunkara Way is a social enterprise that have a movement to bring the young Balinese people to the rice field and then doing. Sorry, you guys listen to me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so we are doing regenerative farming method. So there are two of our goals. The first is bring the young Balinese people and then also do the regenerative farming method. So we are doing that by making some course with the international and then the local people. And then by making the courses, and then we also try to connect them with the local farmer all around Bali. And then we are trying
Martana, that's good. But I want to know who you are.
Okay.
Who you are. We want to know.
Okay.
Are you some random person in Indonesia, or are you
all
doing
right,
something that's, who are you? You're a
yeah. So,
foreigner, Indonesian. Tell us who you are.
okay, I'm Martana. I'm from Bali. So I've been working with Astunkara Way from start this August, and then I've graduated from Udayana University as an agriculture student. Now I've collaboration with Pak Tim in Astunkara Way.
Good. Thank you. And Tim, just who are you? Let's get to know you.
Sure. So I'm Tim FIJAL, and Martana is my right hand man here. That's why we switched chairs. He's got to be on my right. But he and I worked together at Green School on the same team, the Cocoa Connection team. So I spent 9 years working at Green School and living in Bali. And Martana came in a couple of years ago at a time when I was just getting very engaged with local farmers and the local farming situation and understanding what their challenges are and how we could work together with them. So I was thrilled to have Martana on our team initially as an intern, and then as a sort of a manager of learning out there in the rice paddies, working with the farmers nearby Green School. And now we are collaborators again. We're working on the same team under Astunkara Way, trying to figure out how to regenerate soil and ecosystems and get human beings connected with nature and the source of their food.
Tim, we're looking forward to know more about that rice farming project. Now to Pak Nyoman. So Pak Nyoman Suma Artha, he is the owner of a handicraft manufacturer. Yet he's not on this call for that today. He's on here because he's trying to promote Pasar Rakyat, which is an initiative which I understood he is getting all the farmers to sell whatever farmers cannot sell, and he is buying it and selling it for cheap. So Pak Nyoman, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? Since when have you started this Pasar Rakyat project?
Hi, Krishna. Hi, everybody. And thank you for inviting me in this webinar. And yes, I'm from Bali. And I know you before you born. Okay. So I originally from west of Bali. I born by the edge of forest, and my parent was a farmer, and my grandparent was farmers, and I come here to work as at the tourism industry. Then I do look deeply into farming since the year 2000 because of the event where um, the people destroying the forest on the downfall of Swardo era. So everybody was destroying the forest, and I go back home. I was really shocked about how people, destroying their forests. In fact, they are farmers that will need the forest for their sustained production. So, and I go back and do all this stuff and do research along the way. And in 2016, then I formed with my friends a co-op, farmers co-op, which is pay, based their activity on supporting farmers on their production side. And then during COVID, then I started this crazy idea about because I see people gonna run out of money because Bali, depending on 80% of the economy on tourism, and then nobody gonna come here. There's no market, and people are gonna start laid off and run out of money, and then not gonna able to buy food, and food distribution gonna be get disturbed, and farmers not gonna able to, and then all this crazy mind come to me.
We'll talk about that in a second. I will talk about that in a second. But there you go, right? Pak Nyoman since 2000 has been supporting farmers, but only since COVID has there been a real need to have some crazy ideas. And now to our final speaker, which is Ibu Sari. Ibu Sari, is your video on? Ibu Sari had there's a reality in Bali is that some traditional things that we do as Balinese are not considered very modern. And one of those things is the case with divorce in Bali. For Bali Hindus, divorce is considered very taboo. And Ibu Sari created a community to try to change that, to try to empower people. And Ibu Sari, do you want to share a bit about the PKP Community Center?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Oh, so amazing to see amazing people. I believe we all do our best in this uncertain time. I'm Ibu Sari. Thank you, Krishna, for making this happening. And we are here with our new friend from the Ukraine, and she's a journalist.
Hi everybody, I'm Daria.
And a writer, and we are exactly in our Palamahan, our nature behind us, where this used to be a rubbish dump, and we turn into what is supposed to be. Anyway. Things we do for ourselves and others, there's always story behind. So do myself. I went through unpleasant situation in the past, and finally universe helped me to went through all those shitty stuffs, those unpleasant stuff in my life, and turn my pain into a joyful and meaningful activities, not just for myself, but also for women, children, and communities. Because when we would like to help women, which is the neck of the world, we cannot move fast without embrace the rest of their family members.
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, that's a great metaphor. You know, maybe in Balinese society, the man is the boss, the head, but the woman is the neck, which controls the head. And there you go, guys. These are the speakers that we'll be having today. So the Hita Karana webinar, we're trying to push for the Bali Pledge. The Bali Pledge is a movement to see how do we want to reopen Bali in the near future. Do we want to reopen Bali and then have everything as it was before? Or do we want to go somewhere a bit higher? Do we want to focus on sustainable tourism, on permaculture, on trying empowering the people who are in Bali? Bali is special for all of us. We are all in Bali, or we have visited Bali for a reason, and many have stayed for a reason. But sometimes we need to fight for that reason, because over time things change, everything changes. And it's up to us as a community to come together and make change. So if you have not, at the end of this webinar, signed the Bali Pledge, please do so. If you have, please share the Bali Pledge. Because at the end, the Bali Pledge is about Hita Karana, which is the philosophy of keeping harmony with other people, with the environment, and to a higher being, the spirituality of Bali. Now, let's get it started with the webinar, and we'll go straight into it. Since the speakers are focusing a lot on empowering the people, the first question, and we'll have each take their turn, is what does it mean for you to support the community? Maybe we'll have Nyoman first. What does it mean? Because you've been working with, I remember you saying 500 farmers. So what does it mean to you to support the community?
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said before, that this is like a crazy idea during COVID. So our main business is kind of down by 90% because our main business is in tourism, but we have infrastructure. It's still there. And then, so my crazy idea has come to how do we do mitigation from what can get worse? So, my prediction is the money will go down and people can run out of saving. But meanwhile, farmers, it's hard to sell their stuff. So, and how do we bridging this in the unusual condition? So then I call my friend around Popudanes to get, to get funding to start with. I need money to start this. So to buy the farmers a product, and then to make the website and to get the volunteer and all this stuff. So I had infrastructure, I have skill, I have, um, network to gather people. And then we have this idea to make the food supply online. So, and then, okay, let's make farmers market, like a people market, we call pasar rakyat. So, and this will buy the produce from the farmers in three ways. The produce that they cannot sell, like they have 1 hectare of lettuce or sawi putih or bunches. So they cannot sell. It's it's better if we take it, we help them to harvest and then distribute it in three ways. One with profit, two without profit, three it's giving away to the soup kitchen or to the people on the street that really need, you know. Because why this idea come? Because when people run out of money, in Bali we have philosophy, okay? In human there's goddess, there's human, there's devil. So when human cannot get food, they're gonna become devil. They're gonna have just two choice. I stay at home, I'm gonna die, or I go steal or do criminal thing and get something for survival. So this like this is by, but we're doing by staging. So this is what we do during COVID. So in Bali, to Somnia the devil, like in Nyopi, you see this procession, Nyomia, we call it to soften the devil attitude in human. This is part of the what the ritual that we have. So
But
this
Nyoman,
is the
Nyoman, I
actual.
think you're underplaying the Pasar Rakyat, because you've been called, and I know you not as Pat Nyoman,
Yeah.
but I know you as the greatest farmer in Bali. So he's underplaying what the Pasar Rakyat was. Honestly, yes, in in the structure, it's a website and you collect food from farmers and
Uh,
you're selling it. But really,
yeah,
you're you're not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about how can I help other people. When your business was going
the,
down, your mindset was, what can
yeah,
I do first? I remember we had a call, and when COVID hit,
yeah,
right before Pasar Rakyat, you did
yes,
a few things before
yeah.
Pasar Rakyat. Before you were
Before Masyarakat,
yes,
yeah, we do when COVID just hit. It's around March. Yeah, it's around March. So we were just hit the businesses start going down with downhill and we need mass for people that people don't all of people have money, so we have
mask.
movement. We have created movement at that time we call 4 million mass for Bali. So 4 million mass for Bali. So how do we do this? It's one, in my opinion, instead of buying, we can make it ourselves. We produce mass, but not everybody can do that. And so there's crazy idea of us. So why don't we teach the shower in the village to create mass? So then we make video how to make it, and we make the pattern, we make the sample, and then we give each village that willing to teach their shower in their village 40 meters of fabric, cotton fabric that been sitting in our warehouse and also donated by friend. So we distribute this, and then it's worked really well. And then some villages really,
So
after they finish this 40 meters of fabric, they get their own fabric. There's
so that's
plenty of
amazing,
fabric
right?
there. So
So yeah,
so
that's really amazing,
yes,
because we're not talking about just feeding someone. We're talking about teaching someone to fish. You were not only like, okay, here's
yes.
some money, buy some maskers to use one time, those one time usable maskers.
No,
You're like, here's some fabric, let me teach you. And then they got inspired to make more maskers. So that's amazing. All right.
yes.
Now I like,
So then
yeah,
we
well, you know what? We gotta take turns.
so because Krishna, let me tell you, of all my idea is based on sustainability, because we've been work for sustainable village development and all that social charity, because our our company is, we call it green company. Start in 1992 back then. So we call it green company, and nobody understand about that. And we always think about sustainability. And how can you sustain if everybody just expecting help from others? Meanwhile, everybody has ability to survive. We just need to teach them, and you cannot be a single one hero. Everybody should be a hero, so everybody
Hold that
can
thought. That's a
help
very
each
good
other.
thought. But I'd like to hear about with Tim and Martana, because there could be no greener business than the business of rice farming. Especially just a few days ago, there was an article in the Jakarta Post. They said that so many young people are not in agriculture. They said only 23% of young people are not in agriculture because of the image that it's dirty, it's low paid. So I'd like to hear from Tim and Martana, considering what you're doing. You're teaching farmers how to farm. What are you doing to support the community?
So we try to work alongside the farmer. So we try to help from start planting, and then also taking care of the plant, and then also harvesting. So while that also we bring some student, let's say student, because we already also have the student from start from primary till high school, and also we already have some student with the parents. So by we have that student, we also have uh, found some money for the farmer to help doing regenerative farming action. So we
Tell us more about regenerative farming. Is there something special about it? What is different than the current style of farming in Bali?
so regenerative farming is about what the ancestor of Bali that already do before the Green Revolution. So it's about natural farming. So the natural farming that we can do without chemicals. So it's like we try to do less chemical. We not say that we are 100% do not use chemical. We try to use whatever we can get from surroundings like fertilizer and pesticides. So we try to, in this situation, we try to regenerate the soil quality that already maybe during the Green Revolution that decreased, and then we try to regenerate again, like that, something like that.
So during the Green Revolution, so there was a lot of good things that happened. But yes, one of the impacts was the exploitation of our soil. And I know Pak Nyoman has something to say about that, but I and that's really good. And we'll go back to that. Ibu Sari, Ibu Sari. So Ibu Sari is not more on the farming part, but on the people part, and that's super important. Ibu Sari.
Yes, I'm here.
So I'm just gonna explain a little bit about there's a culture in Bali about divorce, right? And it's a very hard topic in Bali. And Ibu Sari is trying to change that because, especially in Western countries, divorce is very common. But in Bali, if you're a divorced person, especially if you're a divorced female, woman, you can be kicked out of the village. So I'd like to hear from Bu Sari, how you're supporting the community, how you started, and then where you are right now for the community.
All right. How long do I have? 10 minutes?
Just go. I mean, people want to know. Some people
Because
don't know. Yeah.
never ending stories,
How did it start? Is it true what I said? Is it true that if you're a divorced woman, well, firstly, you can get kicked out, and secondly, it's always the women's fault. Is that true?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for the question. This been a question for everyone who met me. Okay, so I was born in the jungle in the South Sulawesi, another island of Indonesia. Financial struggles made my parents tried hardly to move back to Bali. We are Balinese, transmigrated was in the 60s, my grandparents, followed by a parent, and long short story, finally we back to Bali, and financial struggles made my parents place me everywhere with relatives and triggered me to committed suicide myself to end myself when I was 9 for the first time. I know it was crazy, but I had no idea how to respond when I found myself not like a common Balinese children living and growing with parents. The second unpleasant situation was when I about 15, my neighbor came to my parent, my dad, and the neighbor wanted to sell me and my sister because of they thought that was the easiest way to get money for our study. That's also the second time I committed suicide myself because of felt frustrated. Why people think look up and down on us. The next challenge was I married was in such a young age. The universe designed our life unpredictable. Married more or less 2 years, I had to divorce and leave my baby when she was 8 months. Of course, it was hard for a mother to leave my blood because of the patriarchal society. I believe everyone here know how the Balinese society. I had to leave. I lost my weight from 53 to 35. It was just bone and skin and bones. But during the marriage, I committed again suicide myself few more times, but I could share with you I wasn't smart enough to end my life because I always end up in hospital. But anyway, I went through. I did my first lockdown before you guys. So everybody around the world doing the lockdown now, I done that my first lockdown when I went back home to my parent. I'm grateful having my parent, my family who loved me dearly and didn't want to see I'm die for nothing. I locked down for a few months myself in the room, but my mom, a mother always knows how to give the strength, how to encourage us. I believe you guys agree with me. A mother usually do that. So she gave me a strong words. If you don't want to go out, kill yourself inside. But before that, see my dead body outside. That actually stick myself to move forward and promise her, okay, I'm out.
Wow.
I thought challenge was end, but it wasn't. Life is never ending stories. I gained my weight and became beautiful again. And last challenge was men. Sorry guys. Men one by one came to me. Young adult, and some of them even ask my price, how much you per night. It's just because I'm divorced, a beautiful divorced. Of course, that create a jealousy, a blind jealousy, and also not some, but many of their wives, many girlfriends even spit on me.
Wow.
Because they were too afraid I was taken away their partner.
Wow.
When I realized I wasn't in a pleasant society, not in a healthy environment, I decided to move away for a while and became a stubborn daughter for my mom, who wanted to keep me just in the village and face all those gossiping, hearing all those gossiping and all those unpleasant things around me. So I moved away. I decided to continue my study in university and became a teacher. But it was just an excuse, to be honest. An excuse for me to move away, to help myself, kept myself busy as I could with study and working. It works. It works to help me not think about my own blood, my daughter, not think about anyone who look up and down on me, who think I'm easygoing or whatever. So it works. But it works temporarily because my pain still there. And I started sharing my feelings and energy created. I started sharing my feelings and I met many different women with different issues, struggle with different issues, not just divorced women. Fertility issues, sexual illness, transgender, single moms with children and adult having children with special needs, And the more I met them, the more I realized this issue's been taboo for such a long time in our society in Bali. But not many people concerned about that. The idea came on my head, how could I put all those women together and let them know they are not the only one with issue. And I found myself through my sharing, the more I share, the better. And I don't care what people think when I'm sharing, because I was care the most of self-healing. The more I share, I found is a natural way of healing.
But Bu Sari, you're doing more than sharing, right? The community is much more than just the sharing group. What are you doing in the community? You're teaching people?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And if you would like to do something, we know we have to start from ourselves. If I wouldn't go through all those unpleasant situations, how would I know how to help others? So now we bring everyone together. Even at the beginning, I was focused on the neck. Again, the neck of the world. This takes very important roles. Even in Bali, particularly, the man is the decision maker, but we can imagine if we relate to the medical service, if the neck not treated nicely, it can turn into Durga or Kali or the devil, correct?
Yes.
But if people treat the neck nicely, it turns into Dewi or Parvati, the heaven. The food on the table, full of love, everything.
So Ibu Sari,
yes.
your story is so touching. It's so hard. You know, most people just surviving what you experience, that would be already an achievement. But you have created a community and created a refugee camp for people who are experiencing the same thing like you did, or who have experienced the same thing that we did. Now, as a community here with the Bali Pledge people, what can we do to help your community? Do we tell people about your story? Do we invite people? Do we donate? How do we help you continue what you're doing?
Thank you for the question. This is what I've been waiting for. How can people help? We know we all in society, we have to work together. This is why we not just focus on children and adults with special needs and women as the neck of the world, but the rest of the community need to work together. And we know everywhere we go at the moment, during the COVID, after the COVID or whatever, we all doing our best to help ourselves and others. So we need to integrate it together. And we need to focus on how to find a way for everyone to be independent and sustainable again. Because we are struggles. So like our friends like Pak Tim and Pak Nyoman doing, we need help our communities market their products. We have many different kind of products, from farming, from sewing, from cooking, because we have multiple program. We start having a multiple social enterprise to reach our mission to be independent and sustainable for everyone well-being through education.
Okay, that's amazing. Working together, and you have products to sell. Maybe we can collaborate further with Pak Nyoman and the Astung Karaway group.
Definitely. But I would like to add, first thing, if you would like to help, we know, do the first step is LAF. Look, ask, and feel.
Look, ask, and feel. Wow. And
Look more, ask more, and feel deeper. Is this right things? Don't do any action. The more you come, the more you see, the more you ask, the deeper you feel, you will automatically know how to help and support.
thank you, Bu Sari. That's LAF. Look, ask, and feel. Now, I'd like to ask Pak Nyoman the same question. How can we help you? How can the community help you? Unmute yourself, please. You're on mute. You're on mute. Unmute. Unmute, Pak Nyoman. No, Pak Nyoman. You're speaking, but you're on mute. You're on mute. Unmute. Yes.
Okay.
How
Yes.
can we help?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How can we help you?
There's many ways. So if we see what is needed to be done, we'll need seeing from that. What is our goal? Is one goal for sure to spread this movement out. So because I myself, Pak Nyoman, cannot do any, any little dance if I just do it myself. This is a huge issue that we have to handle it together, hand by hand, with a big heart and thinking out of the box, because I can understand everybody now thinking about how do I save myself. How do I this is a problem for everybody, but the biggest problem is when there's people that not eat, and then two, farmers stop do production for our food, because if they keep losing and they're gonna stop production, and they cannot even they want to, they just, it's not just sustained. And then at the other hand, there's group of people that couldn't eat even for their children, for themselves. And this is worrying me about how is our one, food security, economic security, and social security. As the criminal gonna go up and all this, it's gonna destroy all our social structure. So this can be prevent to happen if we work hand by hand. We are the pioneer on this, and let's get together. And then we need support on social media to spread this out. And if you guys know IT and all this stuff, this and the video, this photos, this, a lot of stuff to spread the word out, so people are actually aware about the I always write this from like, let's see, 4 months ago. And then do you watch the Game of Thrones? Do you watch the Game of Thrones?
I think everybody
Huh?
has. I think everybody has watched Game of Thrones.
Right. And then I always say about sorry, I have to sign something. I always say the winter is coming, or the winter is here. Let's stick together.
We're in winter.
Work together. So we are in winter. If we see, this is I see as this is the winter. It's coming. It's the threat that's come is the unsecure on food, unsecure on social situation, and all this stuff can be happen. The social structure can be collapsed because this is, we never seen this in 100 years. So, and then nobody has experience how to handle it. And then it just the big heart can do it. Let's work together. We need volunteer. We need social media volunteer. We need funding. We need, all this stuff. So it can be sustained during this ordeal.
Pak Nyoman, that's a good.
So, and then
you mentioned.
Yeah.
That you need a big heart, but Pak Nyoman, you have the biggest heart, and because you're not only helping the farmers to sell food that they cannot sell, but the food that you yourself bought from these farmers and cannot sell, you are now donating them to soup kitchens. Is it true that you've donated
Yeah,
over eight tons of food to people who could not
it's already
eat?
more.
Already more.
I think it's more. So because we do it every day. So if there's people we see, okay, we give either to soup kitchen or to people that still able to cook, because some people already cannot even buy the gas or the wood fire or something like that. So and then and this need to be sustained as long as this ordeal happen. It's gonna be, we are on the down line still, it declining still, because nobody know when this is gonna end. And then it's longer, it's the period of people doesn't have income, it's getting longer and longer, and then the saving getting thinner and thinner. So it's just more and more people gonna need help.
So there you
And
go.
but
There-
among us,
yeah.
but among us still remain have cash to able to help. So at least when you buy food, you know, buy it from Pasar Rakyat. So because we're gonna give back the profit, the net profit to the people that's in need. And also the money we gain, we used to buy the produce from the farmers, whatever they are. Even we don't know
That
where to market it yet, we
that's
just buy
such a
it. And
such a like long-term vision, because you're thinking,
yeah,
of course, if the farmers cannot sell their food, they'll go hungry, and then if people go hungry, people get crazy, right? And so you're not just thinking
yeah,
about yourself, you're thinking about the people in Bali. You're talking about
uh,
the long-term
we're
vision.
thinking about us all, about us all. And if this happen long enough, that I think it will, because of the global situation. And then they don't find any medicinal that's really 100% can cure it. And then this gonna be this ordeal gonna happen for longer time, when uh like let's say 70% of people doesn't have money. So
Hmm.
how do you do this? And then I'm already thinking about barter. So the swapping, the farmers, the vegetable farmers bring the vegetable, the rice farmer bringing rice, the
Hmm.
fisherman bringing this, and then the people who doesn't have product, they can work, they
That's
can work,
amazing.
they can they,
So there
they,
you
they
go.
can donate their time, their skill, their whatever, and then we can move this from village to village or from city to city. So, and the people who bring, I already think about how we're gonna do this, and where, and then at the end people will bring food home.
So there you go. For the audience
People,
who are listening, how do we help
so
Pak Nyoman and Pasar Rakyat spread the word and volunteer when there's the kitchens that he donates food to? Contact Pasar Rakyat. If you have time but no money, volunteer your time. If you have money, buy some food from Pasar Rakyat, because the food goes straight to the farmers. And now to
yeah.
Astung, thank you Pak Nyoman. To Astung Karaway, same question. How can we help you do what you already doing that's so good for Bali? How can we help you do better,
Yeah,
do
what a
more?
beautiful question. Shall I answer that one?
Yeah, we sure about.
Um, yeah, well, first off, I just love what Ibu Sari and Pat Nyoman had to say. Thanks so much. I'm so inspired by your work, both of you. And I know a lot of us who are listening have visited them. I recognize some names, and we love what you do. It's a beautiful thing. And I like what Ibu Sari said about look, ask, and feel, LAF. And I guess that's kind of how we got started with the farmers. And in fact, we weren't looking to help. We were looking to consume an experience. We just wanted to get out as foreign people and get our hands in the mud. And what we found after looking out there and learning from the local community and asking them about their challenges and feeling their pain, we learned that they have two major hurdles that they're facing. One is that 70% of farmers in Bali are over 60 years old. And they're very concerned that the young people are not inclined to get their hands and feet in the dirt anymore. And they're wondering who's going to be the stewards of this warisan, of this precious heritage that that has been labored over for over a millennia. It's a concern for sure. So they asked us, how can we make farming sexy again?
How to make farming sexy again?
That was literally the words of Pagdeni, the Pukase, the head of Subakumalambing. And also, they're concerned about chemicals being poured onto the land over this long period of time, almost as long as I've been alive, half a century. And one thing that stuck with me is he said, if we keep on doing this for another 5 years, we're going to be planting rice in sand. So how do we regenerate soil quality? So these are the challenges that we took up. And how can you help? Well, you can come out and get into the mud with us. It's not just rice farming. In fact, we have an agroforest project. We're nurturing community gardens here and there. And we're also getting out and connecting with people like Nyoman and IBU SARI. We're going to be coming to you pretty soon too, Bu Sari. And yeah. And so we really need people to be enthusiastic, and I know at least a couple people who are dialed in on this call have been out in the paddies with us, and we consistently hear from them, this is the most meaningful, touching, amazing experience that I've had in Bali. And that's generally what the testimonials say. It's like, thank you so much for letting my kids, reconnecting my kids to nature, to communities. Martana and I rushed back from the field. We spent, the last 6 hours of our day working with little kids and gap year students, young youth, both Balinese and international. This is therapy for them. So it's not just how you can help, it's how you can get yourself some therapy, nature therapy. Yeah. You get off the screens and like forget the fact that you've got a smartphone in your pocket for 8 hours, and come out and be in the sunshine with us. There's no healthier place to be. So yeah, help yourself and help us while you're at it. Join our rice cycle course. We have another one starting next Saturday. And we'll be experiencing the full rice cycle from seed to table. We need 15 to 30 signups for that, and it'll start next Saturday and go until December. And we'd love to see families out there, young people, old people, local people, international people. Doesn't matter. Just come and farm with us. We'll get you connected with our community garden and learning about essential foods that you can cultivate, harvest, and cook, and we'll do it together. And it's just a lovely thing to do. And then, if you are aware of any cool projects, people who are taking regenerative action, people like Nyoman, like IBU SARI. One of my most amazing experiences in Bali, which I will take with me to my grave, this precious memory of being with little Novi and all these kids in IBU SARI's garden that used to be a waste dump. And she really took it upon herself to get kids and women back into gardening and transformed that into such a beautiful organic garden. And, just spend time with people and community and growing food together. It's like I said, it's therapy. And we are looking for people like that, like IBU SARI, like Nyoman across the island that we can partner with, that we can get behind. We want to support them, and we want to draw more attention to the good work that they're doing. And we want to ultimately create a network of all of these people across Bali. And with that network, we plan to create a pilgrimage trail. We call it the Astunkara Trail. We want people to no longer come to the airport and jump on a big bus to get to Canggu or Ubud, but to put on a 5-kilogram backpack and with their own 2 feet walk to Pamutran from Denpasar, and stop at every regenerative farming location along the way and see the amazing things. Because there's ingenuity in the fields and the forests and the coral reefs, and there are Balinese people doing amazing things on this island. And
wow.
People that visit us here, they deserve to see the ingenuity of this island and rejuvenate, the traditions and the amazing knowledge that's out there.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim. So there you go. Come out and help learn some rice farming. And now we're entering the second stage of our webinar, which is the open Q&A. Now, from the three speakers, there was one theme that was very common, which is working together. Especially now, since tourism is not where it used to be, it's all the way down here. Now things like farming, like teaching other people is becoming so important. And from the last webinar, I want to share a personal story. I reached out to Kebun Berdaya, the project that Krishna Wawuronto was going. I went to Denpasar, and like IBU SARI's project, it was a rubbish dump turned into a garden for the people. I then visited a recommendation by David Metcalf. I think he's on this call. I went to Kluchung for the Kluchung project, where they were empowering the locals. And this is why getting together and just talking about what we're doing and sharing is so amazing. And I'd like to ask if any of the audience have any remarks from the last month. Have they went out and contacted people? Have they gone out to a plastic exchange program that is now getting more famous in the news? I'm opening it up to the audience. David Metcalf, you want to talk about how you found the three recommended speakers, which is IBU SARI. You're on mute.
Oh yeah. Am I unmuted now?
No, you're good. You're good.
Uh,
You want to share about how you found the amazing speakers? Which one of them is IBU SARI?
Oh yeah. Well, hi everyone. Anyway,
Hi.
sorry, I just sort of joined this about 15 minutes ago or so, but great to hear Tim, and then the project that he's working on down there, and always fantastic to be, in this group and hear all these wonderful ideas and everything else. So, well, Sari, I've known for quite a few years actually. I can't even remember exactly where we met, but I remember, of course, Sari always leaves a huge impression whenever you meet her. And I think the first conversation we talked for about 2 hours or something like that, and I was extremely impressed with not only what an incredible, beautiful-hearted person she is, but her project and what she was doing about turning a bad situation, a negative situation, into a positive situation. I think she's a wonderful living example of that, what she's been able to do with that community and helping women and children. And I've been out to her facility there a couple of times, and we always use Sari whenever we can for food catering. She does absolutely, or her team there does an absolutely wonderful job too, by the way. If anybody has catering needs or anything like that, it's another wonderful way to support that organisation. We bought a bunch of her bags that the ladies make mostly out of recycled or upcycled materials, and put in our bag of hope, which we sold a few weeks ago. And we've got the second bag of hope, by the way, coming out now. So if anyone's interested in that, and all the money that we sell those for go directly to the community. So, but anyway, so Sari, yeah, so absolutely amazing person, and
I
yeah.
guess I think what I'm trying to understand is basically how we're going to support the renewal of Bali when it opens is to support these kind of businesses. So it's one thing to know somebody that's doing good. It's another whole new level to support them. So David, thank you very much for sharing the speakers. Thank you for sharing your story of visiting the PKP Center. And now I have a different question, because the topic was also getting farming sexy again, especially for the younger people. So I'm curious to know if there are, I'm gonna say young is below 40, no? So if any below 40-year-olds have any comments on that, if you're somebody who's below 40, how do we get people into farming? Maybe Manik and Beverly, or who was that? Who said that? Yasa?
Krishna.
No. Yeah.
Krishna.
Yes. Yes, Pak Nyoman, go ahead.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah, please.
So I've been observing this. Why young Balinese people not really interested in farming anymore? So there's many different. First is every farmers will say to their children, "Hey kid, never become a farmer like your dad." they That's what it's always that, because I am the son of a farmers. Because why? Because the farming since the Green Revolution is really not a job that you will dream to be. You know, it's like it's not profitable. It's hard work, and the price always up and down, and the risk is really high. And on top of that is the supply that you use to do production as a farmer after Green Revolution is really, you know, the quality and then the price is not certain. So your cost of goods sold is, you know, especially when the ecosystem is disturbed, and then there's a lot of disease and a lot of pests, and you know, and you will need more and more pesticide, more and more herbicide and all this stuff. So the cost of goods sold of the product with uncertain price and how it can be visible. So then now how we work is also the how you plan, and then what how the choice of the product that you're gonna do, you know, is depending on how high it is your place. This is the whole um project that I'm doing, you know, actually
That's
before
the
the
challenge,
topic.
right? That's the challenge,
Yeah,
because like you
that's the
said,
challenge. The challenge is how to make this farming activity or farming business with a small, you know, small land that you farm on be profitable. You know,
so
and then and then this
if
is like it's a long story and long strategy, and then very detailed, and it need to be, you know, this you need to be really detailed in seeing the whole thing. It's not like making garment or whatever. It's you know it farming actually have a high risk, and then high maintenance, and uncertain income. So
But
this, you know, how
let
do you
me hold
challenge
on to
this?
that. Let me hold on to that thought, because I talked to
Okay.
Krishna Wawaronto last week, and he told me the
Yeah.
opposite. But I want to know from the audience, let's call it the young people, the younger below 40, because we have Martana here, and I know Beverly and Manik talked about their project they're going. Manik and Beverly, I know you're starting farming, like you said. You want to talk a bit more about that, and what are your obstacles? Is it the image, like, you know, the image that, oh, don't follow me, I'm a farmer, don't follow me? What is the challenge for you?
Yes, we are passionate about starting the farmer. The challenge for us actually, we didn't came from that industry, so that's why we're looking for partnership, and then we're starting to research what best for the community here, especially in Jimbaran. Yeah, so that is actually the main challenge for us. But now we're starting to know the direction, because we've been met with some people from a cool farm who give really useful information and where to start. And then we also we also met from Udayana Agriculture, which is also support us from the theoretical framework. Yeah, so we're passionate about this, but we have a lack of knowledge. But we gain more, and through this forum, through this discussion, we are optimistic that we can start our farmer, and this project can be useful for the community here, especially in Jimbaran.
Love it, love it. Yes, there's the energy. We want to learn. By the way, for the audience, if you want to put also what your company is, which will also help us to know who you are, please do so. Now, speaking about agriculture, is Martana. You graduated from agriculture from Udayana University. Did your parents tell you the same thing? Did they tell you, oh, don't do agriculture because then you'll have a hard life, you know? So why did you do it?
So the first, I really want to share my gratitude because my parents really what I want to be when I grow up. So that's the first thing. Then when I feel the flexibility of my parents to give me a chance to choose my life, what I want to be, that's for me make myself to make to let myself to get more effort to do something. So I choose agriculture because I really love agriculture, and then I live around agriculture sector in my house. So that's the first thing that make me really love that. And then during I in college, so I also learn a lot of agriculture, and then that's make me more interested in agriculture. Then I just realized that when I will graduated, so what can I do? So I just ask myself because some doubts sometimes come from my neighbor because of my neighbor just asked me why you being an agriculture student, is there anybody that you also can be in the future, not as a farmer, but I just make sure myself that in agriculture sector there's a lot of things that you can uh, get the money from it. I mean, like there's a lot of possibility that you can improve in agriculture, especially here in Indonesia. We know we are agriculture agriculture rate and agriculture country, that there's a lot of possibility that we can make more better.
Absolutely, of course, there's possibilities. But you make a good point, which is even people who were seeing that you were doing an agriculture degree, they were like, why agriculture? So you had to convince that you were doing something that you love. And luckily for the parents, and that could be something that we can learn from. It has to come from our generation to the next generation. If our generation, and I say, when one day I'm going to be a parent, I have to tell my kid, do whatever you want to do. Do what's best for you. And that could be something that I am learning right now that I will share and spread. And what Krishna said to me last week, I asked him the question. I said, why are farmers so poor? And how do I convince people who want to be into farming without focusing on the money part? Because the most common question I get is, what's in it for me? How much money can I make with this investment? And Krishna said, for the people who are business-like, you need to tell them farming is a long-term investment. And he calls it Chinese farming. And Chinese farming is all about diversifying your crop to protect your investment. So he said, why you shouldn't do monoculture or one type of crop is it's risky. It's risky because the demand for this certain crop might go up and down. But if you look at farming as an investment, same like when you're buying stocks, don't buy one type of stock, buy multiple kinds of stock to protect yourself. And that really has helped me. And I've been sharing this kind of mindset to everybody I've met, because everything is risky. But if you know how to manage the risk, that can be where the key is, right? Now, I'd like to go in a different direction and talk about Heti. Yes, Heti, please, I'll go next. Go. Yes,
Yeah.
Please share.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Some interesting things popping up, and I am one of the people that likes to see the big picture and often sees the big picture because I'm looking at children in such wide age ranges, different cultures, and all that sort of thing. So it's important to know that actually farming does have that image, or recent years it's had that image of, like you say, not so glamorous and everything like that. But the answer to that lies in two things. One is in allowing any children or young people to be, as you say, who they want to be. So to follow what they love. And in my experience, we've had children come through our places who have loved permaculture, and all they've wanted to do is be in the garden. And we've had children plant gardens and grow all sorts of things, go and visit farms, start seed banks, all sorts of things like that. And so there are children on Bali that want to do that are Balinese and also international. So number one, we do have youth that are interested. But how to overcome, Nyoman, as you say, that thing of like your parents say, don't do this, don't do that. Well, the main answer and solution for that is to raise awareness and educate that if you go into farming or agriculture or permaculture, that there are many other careers that can spin off it, which can bring good income. It can bring businesses and establish businesses. And the pathway to that is to be specific, is to educate and raise awareness about the specifics. For example, the things that are trendy right now. So, in the industries that will always be sustainable and people will always come back to, for example, they'll come back to massage. So therefore, anything fragrant, anything with the oils will always be there. Coffee is another one. The coffee culture is huge all over the world. Maybe there's something special in the health range, like the mangosteen or something. The cancer cures, the mushroom farming. The answer isn't to go into something that's trendy for now, and then it will be sexy because it will lead through to an income and to establishing a business, etc. for these young people. It's more hopeful than going out there and digging with a hoe in the bad weather in the rainy season, to point children towards specifics and wonderful careers that can spin off and research into science and harvesting seeds and those things. Just a few thoughts.
Let's let children be what they want to be.
Could I respond to that, Hedy?
Yeah.
Krishna?
Yeah. Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Hedy, nice to meet you. I think that's a great point. And we're thinking about that as well. In fact, right now we have our first iteration of what we're calling Sekolah Subak. So we're getting groups of youth from the surrounding villages to support our projects that we're doing. Right now we have 12 young Balinese people, like recent high school graduates or high school students, that are coming out regularly to nurture a community garden out there. And we're starting to discover with them opportunities like that, you know. And I agree with you, it can't just be like with a changkul out there in the rain in the wet season. It's a pretty tough slog. There's no question about it. Having said that, I do believe that a lot of the world is discovering like that actually farming is pretty damn sexy right now. If you look at the most trending YouTube channels out there, it's, believe it or not, people are looking to find out how to grow their own food more than almost anything else, aside from BTS, of course. But yeah, I mean, people are very, very much into this. And I mean, there are farming heroes that have literally tens of millions of followers right now and trending up. So this is something that like the Western audience has an appetite for. And when we start to get out there and you know, take Balinese kids by the hand and take them back to their fields, and they see us doing what we're doing out there, they actually discover a joy for it. And as much as I do agree that there maybe has to be a future for it, but maybe not. Maybe it doesn't have to be a career. Maybe it can just be a rediscovered or a newly discovered joy. Like, I think we have that innately, like all of us want to have. I mean, for the last 12,000 years, we've been cultivating food. And when you take a look at some of the pictures on our website and stuff, they're not posed. I mean, the smiles just naturally come to our faces when we're out there cultivating our food. And I think when you discover that joy, you may find that you want to get out there more often. You may find that you want to put a pot in your windowsill and grow your own cilantro or something. You may find that you want to rip up your turf and get rid of all your grass and turn it into vegetables. Martana can help with that. Or you may be like a passionate person that wants to turn it into a career. But I think all of those are cool, and we want to encourage all of those things.
And that's a good thought, right? Just because you're farming doesn't mean you have to commit your whole career into it. It could be something that you learn on the side, a skill set that you can then teach others. But Nyoman, I'd like to hear your opinion about how we're gonna get more people. Well, the biggest problem, like you said, was that you don't want farmers to stop farming, right? So what's the solution for that? Is it more local people, more younger people, more international communities to join in? What is your solution? Don't forget to unmute. Don't forget to unmute. Unmute, unmute. Don't forget to unmute, Pak Nyoman. No, Pak Nyoman. You're on mute. You're muted.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you, Krishna, and Pak Tim and Hattie. Nice to meet you. So, my point of view is from seeing the reality on the field. Okay, so all that cows, why the parent is saying that, especially on my generation and my down my generation to until 10 years under my generation, because they see the reality and the role model of the definition of success that they have is success has to be a house a lot of money and with glamour life, and this is what is printed in their mind, and then they forget about the how great it's become close to the nature, especially when the nature is still good and all this stuff. So yes, that's one side, that if we need to draw back people to love farming, to really enjoying to do it, and also even making it into a career. So you have to change the mindset. And then how do you do that? It's make it fun. Make it fun like we do. We make it fun. And then also do a lot of research that the farming is, oh my god, the potential in farming itself, it's a multi-billionaire businesses if you do it right. If you do it right, yes, there's a lot of risk, but you can mitigate it. You can change the way the business model is, and then how you do it, and how do you do mitigation, and then the sizes and all this stuff. So I've been looking for this, and now I'm creating this business, on farming business. Other than this, pasar rakyat is just because of the COVID, okay. But that is one of the thing, and I also create a farmers co-op, which is the job of the co-op is to provide the supply for production for farmers, with all organic. So then they are cheap price, good quality, standard, and then it's always available. So it will cost the cost of goods sold, and then they don't play it around by some trader that's not actually want to help the farmers. So this is the farmers co-op, make all the supply for their members, so the members can have a certain supply, certain price of what they need to do production. So
That's a good
and
point.
then
That's a good point. I
and
mean, yeah.
then I have this, I initiate this business about essential oil. So I do research, a lot of research on many different plants that we can get we see the price, and then also medicinal. And the point is, we are in the tropical country that has sunlight all year round, and then with volcanic soil that's very fertile, and it's a ton of water, and it's strange that if somebody can say it, it's not visible business, and we can feed the world, not somebody else feed, not somebody else's feed the
Yeah.
world. We can feed the world. So, but it's need to be change the mindset, change the work ethic, change of the structure of how the business model is, and then so the farmers has pride as the what you call that, they can do the good production yield, and then bargaining power,
But that's
and
actually a
all
really
this.
good point. That's actually a good point
Yes.
because
So,
farming is
and then yes, and then I'm not finished yet. Sorry. So, and if you can present this is what my big project right now before COVID was, to prove to young people, if you do it right with the right business development, right product development, right kind of marketing, right kind of branding, right kind of business model. Hey man, farmers gonna be the hell of good life in
yes,
there.
but I think the main point that you're calling out is that farming cannot be just me as a farmer. It's the infrastructure that helps it make it happen.
Yes,
In the Jakarta
right.
Post article, they said it takes a village to sow the seeds of the future of agriculture, right?
Yeah,
Because
yes. So
tourism has been so important for Bali for such a long time, there's all this infrastructure to help it. There are
yeah,
training camps, there are English camps, but there's not a
yeah,
lot of farming things happening. If
yeah,
only now with COVID, we have to think about where
yeah.
the opportunity lies. And if the
Okay.
structure is there, so you said the seeds, the soil.
Yeah.
Yes, you wanna,
Another
yes,
one point.
another one.
Another one point is we in Bali has a long story of agriculture life, and tradition and culture, and we have a lot of local wisdom, a lot of content actually on a very good content of, for example, subak. Okay? So subak system, eh, nobody can improve the subak system to be more efficient and more effective, and then it's counted very detailed in a very aspect. So there's a lot of content in Bali that we can dig again. This is what we're doing. It's about the Hita Karana, for example. Hita Karana, what is Hita Karana? The harmony, bond between human and human and nature, and human and the spirit. This is like, if you really understand the root of it, it's uh, they are very important of the harmony ecosystem.
Right, the
It's
harmony, right?
harmony. If there's an area with a very balanced ecosystem and food chains, and then the pest and then the disease will be minimized, and the risk of farming will be minimized. So, and
Thank you, Pak
the
Nyoman.
cost of farming will be minimized, and then the price of the food will be just always up and up and up, and then the land of the agricultural land will be smaller and smaller and smaller, and then this is going to be a very very good prospect future business.
That's a
It's,
good
and
one.
then
Yeah,
I trust that. I trust that. That's why I'm
I'm
investing
curious.
like 80
Yeah,
times.
Pak Nyoman, I'm curious to hear from Bu Sari because the community focus is really not on farming. It is farming, but that's not where the community shines, right? The community shines on changing the mindset. Ibu Sari, don't turn off your video. We want to see your face, your beautiful face. So, we're talking about a change of mindset.
Yes.
Tim and Martana and Nyoman were talking about how it's sometimes difficult to get into gardening because there's a whole mindset that, oh, it's low labor, it's not for me. I'm more into tourism. So you're fighting a different kind of battle. You're fighting about the way that the Balinese mindset on the gender equality, right? So what's your solution for that? Is there a problem there, or is there no problem, or does there need to be a change?
Thank you, Krishna. If life has no problem, it's not life. Life is a problem when we see things from problem side, from problem angle, right?
Mm.
It's become a problem if we the problem is how to how to respond. That's actually the difference. Life is not a problem, but how we respond, right?
How do we respond to the problems? Yes,
Yeah, how
that's
to
what we're all
respond,
trying to learn right now.
how to respond our situation, especially unpleasant situation. And of course, we all of us here not doing new things. But we do CPI, copy, paste, improvise. We improvise all those good things, heritage by our ancestors, and especially the tree Hita Karana that we always talking everywhere. If people are in Bali, we always talking about tree Hita Karana, right?
Yeah.
But how actually people could understand that is always first what Ibu Heti. Hello Ibu Heti, very pleased to meet you. And Pak David, terima kasih. Pak Nyoman, Miki, hi. And everyone else who've been generously support our good cause here. Thank you so much. So on the behalf of Balinese, I'm really grateful of having you all here in Bali as an expatriate.
Ibu Sari, I have a question for you, right?
Yes.
Because we talk about Hita Karana and about the Balinese philosophy,
yeah,
where do we draw the line between the traditional Balinese thinking and the modern thinking, right? Because there's always going to be a conflict between going back to tradition and the modern thinking, you know, in terms of gender equality, in terms of the view on farming and other things. So where for you do we draw the line, for example, on gender equality, or in terms of where should we be more traditional and where more modern?
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about next. We are here not to change something, because we sometimes think we know better, but actually for me not. We don't know what is better for others. But what we are doing is improvise many complex things in our life. Now, if we talk about the gender equality, how would we expect people know how if no one taught them? Correct? It's not just about women. It's many different things. It's complex. It's complex issues we are talking about. And what we are doing here is, first, of course, yes, always do LAF, look, ask, and feel. Either they would like to change or move forward to a better or a balanced stage or not. Like what Pak Nyoman said before, yes, the parent often tell their children, do not be a farmer. Farmers is not cool. Yes, we agree if we are in the position of those villagers who live in a farming area generation to generation. It's all depend on where we are, the environment, what are their background, what is their level of education, academic education background. If we move to Jimbaran or Denpasar, the parent would not tell the same things as what Pak Nyoman's parent told to him, correct? So this is not different if we focus on the women or the taboo things here in Bali. So we have to first involve the community, which are the family members, which are part of the community, to do LAF, look, ask, and feel. We talk to them, we discuss with them all those issues been happening. Because this is like Maslow's hierarchy. We cannot just focus on one thing, one to one. It has to break all the taboos at the same time.
I have a question for you, Ibu Sari.
Yeah.
So you said involve the community. Now maybe, right, for Balinese people it'll be easier because they belong usually to a banjar or
Yeah.
to a village. But let's say you're not Indonesian or you're not Balinese.
Yeah.
Right? For the people who are expats on this webinar right here,
yeah.
how do you suggest them to involve themselves in the community?
For those people who not living in Bali, of course there are many things they could do, and we all agree it's not only involve funding in every project of the Balinese people do. Not you can either just be the bridge to spread the words to your friends, to your community where you're living. And of course, funding is the most needed at the moment, not just the moment, but in the future. But how we help those people to raising the awareness that the money people give to them is the tool to fish, to make the works.
Okay.
So it's self-awareness, self-conscious need to be the first.
Okay, self-conscious and then raising awareness. Now,
yes.
I have a fantasy question I'd like to ask the audience and then the speakers. If today you were the governor of Bali,
yeah,
and you could change, I'm gonna ask first the audience to see if anybody has an answer for that one. If today you were the governor of Bali and you could change one thing in Bali, and I want to know from the audience, what would it be? One thing to change. Anybody want to speak? From the audience, who's not a speaker.
Yeah, me.
go Hetty, and then we'll have Alex next. Yes, Hetty.
Yeah, so I was, oh, sorry. A few years ago, we had some similar problems in the Maori culture, and we had a great prime minister called Helen Clark, a woman, and sorry, and she put us onto the arts as a way of raising the cultural awareness and the changing the perspectives and all those things in New Zealand. So what I would do would be focus on the arts and making sure that the dances are preserved and the visual arts, all the different arts, the dramatic arts, and I'd bring those all to the fore. And while there's COVID around, I'd use this time to get the children, especially the ones at home a lot now, back into learning those things. And then when COVID is gone, there's a whole base there of beautiful things that Bali can show to the world and bring to the world, so that it will lead people back into the deep heart of Bali.
Thank you,
on the arts, where the
focusing on the arts. Let's have Alex next. Alex, one thing you would change. You're the governor of Bali. Let's go.
So I believe mass tourism is dead and we're entering the era of intentional travel. I would ask anyone entering Bali to sign a pledge, and that pledge would be a stamp in their passport. So they would have a physical commitment when they enter in Bali to honor Tree Hita Karana, to respect the community, to honor and protect the natural resources, and to respect the natural essence of Bali, the cultural essence of Bali.
Nice. Stamp on their passport. I think Mauritius actually already has that. I'd like to have some people who have their video on. Miki Masai. Why not? You're the governor of Bali, governess of Bali, you know?
Okay, put me on the hot spot here. The list is quite long, to be honest with you.
Gotta pick one. That's the trick.
Yeah, that's the hard bit. I guess for me, it would really be having a real look at the land use that we've got here right now. And from that, you know, really planning, like we said earlier on about diversifying, so not just rice, and you know, where we can really capitalize on different crops, and within that also look at like the aquaponic side.
Nice.
At the Pyramids of Chi at the moment, they're building this amazing setup there, and the amount of food that you can produce in such a little area. So I guess a project within that, see, I told you there's at least three things in here.
But I think the main point was the land use, right? As the governess, you would try to see how we're using the land in Bali to try to diversify more. I'd like to have another audience. Let's say Yasa, you've been so nice to have your video on. If you were the governor of Bali, one thing that you would change. Yeah, you gotta find the unmute button. Well, can you unmute, or I'm gonna give it to Rob for 1 second because he's been so nice to have the video on. Rob, from the practice, one thing, you're now the governor of Bali. Congratulations.
Hi, Krishna. Thank you very much earlier for the shout out, and also awesome. The presenters are extraordinary, and I'm fully in alignment with what's going on. If I had a magic wand and I was the governor, I'd say a moratorium on all tourism development right now, to give Bali more breathing space for more forums like this to come together. And I'm also going to talk about what we talked about at the NGO, is that what I see in this group is an extraordinary resource. The Brains Trust, just on this screen, let alone within the group, which Alex has been curating and putting together, is extraordinary, and a directory where the left hand can know what the right hand's doing and how can I help, and creating a portal, which I know is one of Alex's passions. And I brought that up at the NGO because my sense is there's a lot of people doing extraordinary work, and within that forum or that portal, for example, Nyoman can say, hey, I need some help. Who knows about aquaponics? Or, hey, I need some help. Tim says, hey, who's got, some fertilizer, like that kind of thing. So I think that stop all the development. We don't need any more right now. We've got more than enough. Let's consolidate what we've got. Let's go back in and have a look and make it energy efficient. Let's make it, more sustainable. Let's put some proper, recycling initiatives in place of what's here already.
So basically a moratorium is a government law to stop building. So that's what it is.
Correct. A moratorium of it all, and creating a portal where all these extraordinary people can come together and create these brains trusts, because we already have the knowledge, we already have we have the ability, we have the skill set, we have the brains trust already. Nice. Just got to connect, integrate. All right. Awesome job. Thanks, Krishna.
Thank you, Rob. And then Pak Yasa, please. Yeah. You're the governor of Bali. One thing you would change.
Oh, about the situation?
You're the governor of Bali. You can change one thing in Bali, and people have to agree with you. What it is? What is it?
Oh, right now I just follow the discussion ya.
Okay. Satu hal yang Bapak sekarang jadi gubernur di Bali bisa melakukan satu hal biar merubah Bali. Apa itu?
Maybe if like the governor, maybe the governor must be to change mindset, to change mindset of the Balinese, and then in the Bali we have the tradition from before, like Hita Karana also, and from generation to generation like different thing, maybe the
one thing. Tell me one thing you want to change. What in the mindset? One thing. Satu hal aja.
To change mindset.
Okay, fine. Changing the mindset will be the one thing that we will change.
Yeah.
All right. And now I would like to give it to the speakers to each take their turn. So IBU SARI, Pak Nyoman, Tim, and Martana. I'd like to know if you had that ultimate power. It's a fantasy world. We'll start with IBU SARI. One thing you would change right now, what would it be?
Break the chain.
Break the chain. What chain? What chain are we talking about?
Break the taboos.
Break the taboo. Okay, be more specific, because then it's like there's so many taboos in this world that are fair, unfair. Be specific.
Yeah, I agree with Pak Yasser. Change the mindset.
About what? One thing. One thing.
This is always hard when we work on the complex issues, you know.
One simple thing. One thing.
One simple thing is open the border.
That's something that everybody wants, I think. My God. Open the border. All right. Yeah. What? I mean, yeah. If you're the government, you can do whatever you want. And then let's have Martana, the youngest entrepreneur agriculturist. One thing you would change if you're the governor of Bali.
If I'm governor of Bali, I would like to give some fundamental learning in local schools. So maybe just give them a first learning. I like also. I just would like to give a local school as a fundamental school that can offer the local gardening. I mean, like they're supposed to have some local knowledge about gardening as soon as they can, like
as a basic education. Actually, I'm sidestepping, but I was thinking about this. You graduated in agriculture.
Yeah.
What you learned in college and what you're doing now,
right?
Do they help each other, or are they completely different?
Really help each other, but
they
sometimes
really help each other.
Yeah.
Did you learn about regenerative farming in Udayana?
Yeah.
You did.
I've learned so much like natural farming, and then I improve in what I do now with Asungkara Way and also Green School was.
That's amazing. Okay. Hey, I had a very bad. I went to national school also, and I found that it was a different kind of teaching than international schools. But I'm so happy to hear that chemical-free farming is now taught at the university. Sorry for sidestepping. I'm going to go to the next speaker, Mr. Tim. If you were the governor of Bali, one thing you would change.
I really like what Alex had to say about the passport. I think that's a beautiful thing. But I think I would add to like my dream is that a lot of the time that I've been here, I've realized that I've, as much as I've had great intentions since day one in my 9 years in Bali, I know that I've done harm here as well, just by my mere presence. And I sort of have a dream that somehow people visiting this island could help and not harm. And wouldn't it be amazing if we could find a way for every person to that they're visiting this island would have a net benefit. I think of something like maybe in that passport that every person would have the opportunity to either plant the several dozen trees that they need to offsetting is a bit dicey, but at least they could do something to contribute to planting carbon on this island when they visit, or contribute to a fund that gets young people out and connected to their heritage and learning knowledge that will regenerate and protect their culture here.
That's a great idea, trying to offset. Can you imagine? Oh, if you want to extend your visa, you have to plant 12 trees and prove it. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, well, that's where we're actually planning to do that. Atonement tours, bringing people from the airport to the agroforest to plant their 25 trees.
Amazing. I mean, it sounds crazy, but there's a lot of ideas there. But Nyoman, you are now the governor of Bali. Don't forget to unmute. You are the governor of Bali. You can change one thing in Bali right now. What is it?
Yes, I'm the governor of Bali, actually, de facto. So you see, the governor job is under executive and lead province of Bali to go toward seeing to go toward a better states in the future. So if I see it from that the job desk of the government first, you know, and you are in the regulation and you know what you call that law enforcement and all of this. So if I am the governor of Bali, I will change the regulation that not favoring the sustainable development or evolution of Bali, and I will make all regulation and law enforcement in Bali toward and lead Bali toward movement to go more sustainable evolution for Bali to make a better life for all continuously in the future.
So basically, regulations to focus on sustainable development, other than
Yeah,
not
and law
sustainable.
enforcement. So because this is what is the framework of governors. So you know, and then if you can do that, and then there's a lot of regulation that needed to be addressed. So illegal logging, for example, and then the selling of the water sources from the spring, they just take it and sell it for a private thing. This is supposed to be for farming and then reforestation and then all the stuff. And this is with law enforcement come behind with you know behind it. So it's actually it's structured changes in Bali, either in education, in environment, in livelihood, and culture, and all this stuff. I will change all what is not effective and become destroying Bali and limit people and all this stuff, and then lead the people and my administration to just make that happen. You know, it's just from regulation and change people mind, all this stuff. And start from one, you make a plan. It's like if you do a management, you make planning, delegating, and then controlling, directing, and evaluation. So in order to make a better quality of life for all that exists in the island of Bali. So
Okay.
it's
I mean, okay, one thing is a big thing, but yeah. So
yes,
basically,
just one thing. It's based on that. Based on one thing, change the regulation, law enforcement.
so I
So and
guess
then this gonna.
Pak Nyoman and Martana will be contenders for the next governor of Bali. Thank you, thank you. To the
Okay,
audience
thank you.
who are joining, last chance, because we're gonna be closing the webinar soon. We're gonna have the closing statements and everything. It's your last chance. You've been with us this far. If you were the governor or governess of Bali, what would be one thing you want to change? Say it now or forever hold your say it now or forever hold your tongue. Was it? Yes, Michael Hensel. You're the governor of Bali.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment because the pyramids of Chi came up. I actually built the aquaponic system at the pyramids of Chi. We were just doing some remodeling. But what I want to say is it's really about connecting the people with the knowledge to the people. They need the knowledge. And it's just not having the knowledge and teaching somebody. It's about the people, they want to be taught, they actually have the need for it. So if that happens, magic can happen. So, you know, connecting the knowledge with the knowledge seekers to make a difference worldwide, actually. Not only
I'm still learning about aquaponics. Please share your website on the chat box. I'll look into it later. It sounds very interesting.
Okay.
So guys, we're nearing the last 9 minutes of this webinar. I'd like to give the chance for each speaker to share some knowledge, right? In this difficult time, we have these webinars not because we want to spread negativity, but we want to be inspired by positivity. So who should go first to inspire all the people who have joined today in the webinar so that we can not only change our mindset, but also take action, because this webinar is Hita Karana in action. And also don't forget, we get these speakers from recommendations because we can can only do so much research ourselves. We don't know what great things people are doing out there, especially in Bali. So reach out to us if you know any people who deserve more recognition, who deserve to have their stories shared. So please don't be shy. Reach out to Alex or myself, and we can together really raise awareness, because there is a lot of good things happening. There's good in this world, but sometimes when we look at the news, we feel that this whole world is going to the whole negative side, right? So let's have some closing statements from, let's say, Tim and Martana, on two different people. Let's have Martana first.
Okay, so being sharing with the farmer, that means we already feeding the world.
Okay. More? Tell us more about that.
So it's like when we help the farmer, whenever they have a problem, so we can give some way that they can solve that problem, and then indirectly we also produce the food, and then we can share to the world.
Wow. Okay. So by helping the farmers, we're not just helping them to farm, but we're indirectly helping people with hunger, with the food. Let's have Tim. Thank you, Martana. Tim.
You're welcome.
I think maybe the greatest favor that we can do for our planet is just to be in awe of nature. And I just encourage everybody to get outside and get away from your screens, disconnect and reconnect with nature. And what a fantastic way to do it, by growing your own food. And it doesn't mean you have to join our courses. It's so deceptively simple. You can like literally step outside right now and find a piece of dirt and try to make it healthier and put something in it, the seed that you just gathered from your dinner plate. Think twice before you throw it in your compost, or worst yet, into the garbage. You know, start saving your seeds and see what you can make of them. There's miracles waiting to happen all around us all the time.
Thank you, Tim. That's yeah. Start gardening, guys. If you have a small plot of land or even a balcony, just get a pot. Just start gardening. Get the experience. Like Martina said, it should be a skill set that is taught in school. We're not there yet, but let's make it happen. Pat Nyoman, I'd like to hear from you. You know, what gets you up in the morning? You know, why you keep doing this? Inspire us so we can follow in your footsteps too.
Okay, thank you, Krishna, and thank you, everybody. So I think we should be positive all the time, and then this all shall pass, you know, and keep holding hand, help each other with whatever we have, so that we stick together. This building not gonna you know, collapse. So life has go on. Do our best in the worst situation, and be, you know, learn from all this ordeal, and we can learn a lot of things for the time that come in the future. Just that. Do your best in the worst situation. Always be positive, and then keep holding hand to help each other. Thank you, Krishna.
Do your best in a bad situation. That's gotta be, has to be the only way, right? Sometimes you don't have control of what's happening, so you gotta just do your best. Move on. IBU SARI.
Yeah, if you...
Yes, when you go, please.
Okay, go on. I'm finished.
No.
On,
please. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please.
No, because sometimes we just panic, you know, facing the situation, like the worst situation. Then we, you know, we're supposed to be able to do what is the best thing that we can do in that situation, instead of the worst thing that we can do in a worse situation. It's gonna be make things worse. But if you do your best that you can do, this is always gonna be something come out from there.
Wow, do your best. Thank you, Pak Nyoman. IBU SARI, PKP Community Center.
Yeah.
Hello.
I almost sleep.
No, that's not what a moderator wants to hear. So, Sari,
let's move. Let's move. Let's move. Don't
inspire us. Let's move. Inspire us.
Don't stay online. Let's meet. Let's meet.
Let's meet.
We all missing you. Each other.
We're gonna get through this. And IBU SARI, if you could share some wisdom, get us excited. You know, we're gonna get through COVID. Get us. You know, let's do it. What can? Tell us something.
Yeah.
Tell us something positive.
We will get more exciting when we meet, not just meet online like this. Come to the jungle.
Come to the jungle. But what, you know, you've experienced something so brutal, so amazing, and the story is so touching.
Life is brutal.
Life is brutal. But what gets you up in the morning? How do you keep going? You know, on days that are hard, especially now, how do you keep going?
How do I keep going?
How do you keep going?
Well, if we always stay like Pak Nyoman said, stay positive, see things from a positive angle, and respond all these shitty stuffs, the struggles, the unpleasant things from positive angle, it's help us to lift our energy every day. And because my second life is community, so when I see everyone smile, it's recharge my energy. I know it's hard when people have to work for daily income. It's of course not easy for them, but again, it's no one could have if we not start from ourselves.
Thank you. Start from yourself, go into a community, you know, see the positive side of every angle.
Yes.
That's great. I mean, I think especially people who join this webinar, who are especially in Bali or who are outside Bali, who wanted to come to Bali, the news about September being postponed, it really hurt. And it happened just a few days ago. And I still personally, if I can be honest, I'm feeling pretty sad. But thankfully, because I could speak to IBU SARI, Pak Nyoman, Tim, and Martana, you know, it really feels like there's hope. There is always a positive angle. Personally, I want to say thank you really for your time. I want to say a big thank you to the audience. I know it's not an easy time. You know, in these times, some people just want to stay at home, close their doors, and just, you know, be all snuggly.
No, I don't want.
They
I
don't
don't want
want
to stay at home.
except Busari. So, you know, a really big thank you for all of you coming in together. And I know there's some people who are waiting for the recording to come out because we're very lucky. 170 people have registered, but obviously some are not in Bali and could not join the webinar. So for your time, for your energy, thank you very much. If there's any final feedback from the audience, does anybody know a speaker that they want to share or an experience they want to share? No? We're good.
Okay.
No more question. Let's
No more questions.
let's meet. Let's meet.
Yeah, screw Zoom. Let's just go to PKP and just hang out there. But honestly, a big thank you to everybody. You know,
Okay, thank you, Krishna.
really
Thank you,
blessed.
everybody.
Have a good day, and let's survive COVID. Let's make farming sexy again. Let's help the community. We are not one person, but we are a community, and together we can do this. Goodbye, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, Krishna.
Thanks, Krishna. Awesome job. As always, see you soon, mate. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Gratitude.
Waiting for you,
Thank you, all right.
everybody. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the presenters.
Bye.
Awesome work. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.